Hey guys, welcome to my first 2017 video. This is Pino of DFT Games, and today's subject is localization in Unity 3D. Now, why am I creating this video? Here you go. This is why. Unity just published, I think yesterday. I saw it today, to be honest, and after just the first look, I said, okay, you know what? Usually, Unity Technologies tutorial are a tad cringy. They are very, I don't know. I don't really have a proper adjective. I don't know why they do tutorial this way. No idea, but this time round they really crossed the line from my point of view. They have no idea really of the meaning of keep it simple, right, and performant, and actually teaching how to localize, because looking at this, you assume that localization means translating something, which is not exactly. So anyway, let's put this away and let's have a look to this one. Now, the first thing that we need to understand is the very meaning of localizing something. So let's have a look to another thing, which is just to make a point. This is MSN, right? I'm using MSN because it's kind of common. So this is just the standard MSN page. This is in Italian. Okay, I'm Italian, so sorry. But let's see how this is. How this looks in and US. Okay, so let's go to the US. Well, it presents more or less the same. Obviously, there are translations, so the strings, menu and all are translated into English, right? We had before in Italian notizie, intrattenimento, sport, money, lifestyle. For some reason, I have no idea why they live in English something. Anyway, when we go in English, obviously, first we have some basic translation of strings, but as you can see, the content also changes, right? It's not a dramatic change, but there are changes, obviously, in content. If we go into the UK, here we go. So the language stays the same, but the content changes. Well, I selected the UK. I've bounced in Ireland because obviously I am in Ireland, so my IP address gave out my location. But what we want to check is this. Let's go to Japan. Now, if we look at this page, this is different, right? This is not the same design. It has roughly the same layout. Again, we find the main strings just translated, but not just the content is different. The actual overall page has a completely different look and feel. A lot of more text, very little animation. I would say absolutely no carousel here. Here normally in this area of the screen, in other languages we have that thing that keeps rotating, that, to be completely honest, I don't even like. Here we go in Japan and that disappeared. Way simpler. It's up to me to click here and I have a lot of content on each single one of these, right? So again, if we compare here, Ireland, bunch of advertisement, beat January, lifestyle, sports, shop now, this horrible thing that keeps showing me group of 3 different news or promoted stuff, again advertisement, and a lot of imagery. Okay, you can immediately see the difference here. Huge amount of images. If we go on a Japanese page, way less imagery. Okay, less advertisement. You see the top huge advertisement disappeared. We have some advertisement again here, yes, sure, one other here, but that's pretty much it. We have to go way down maybe to find some more advertisement, but again, very straightforward, less art. What's the point? The point is, localizing a game doesn't mean just translating it to strings. It also means adapting the artwork. Okay, and it has to be done in the simplest possible way. Now, not all the games needs to be fully localized, meaning also the artwork. So sometimes it's not really necessary, depending on the style of the game, but we need the tools to do that, right? Now here I have a very simple test that, by the way, is on GitHub. So you can go on github/dftgames/unity localization and you get the source of the project. Anyway, it's the link is in the description of this video below. So anyway, let's run this so you can see how it works. Well, obviously I exaggerated it a little bit just to make a point. So this is the English version, which is the default. My machine is in English, so for some reason my machine is in English. I don't know why, I'm Italian. So anyway, migrate game, play, settings, info. As you can see, before to start the game I have button play, button settings, button info. So it's changed right away, right when I executed the game. Now it picked up the machine language, so the system language, and applied the system language to the UI. Now let's change to Italian. I click the flag here. Here we are. This is what I call to localize something. Okay, this is a little bit I don't know, maybe stressing it a little bit too much, some very old stereotype. I don't know, I do like pasta and I'm Italian, so again, English, Italian. If I go into Japanese, I get a completely different style, obviously, because a Japanese guy, I'm not really sure how much can be appealed by something like this. Maybe some spaghetti will appeal a Japanese guy. They call those noodles, but yeah, anyway. This is surely more appealing, more focused on the Japanese culture. Now, again, I'm stressing this a lot. Usually there isn't such a huge change in the artwork. Okay, this is just to make a point. Obviously, if I stop the game, I run it again, and we are in Japanese, because I've set the language, so the library, the script, remembers that I did select Japanese as my language, so it's not picking up any longer the system language, is picking up the actual language that was selected by myself. Okay, so just to make the point, this is a very simple way to do it. How many scripts do we have here? Well, the structure here is very easy. The image has a localize image script and has a localization key. And the buttons obviously have, and the text, a localize script that has a localization key. That's pretty straightforward, right? Options are opts, and the info have the key info. Straightforward, right? Nothing very difficult. So the key is the one that drives the translation when we go here and translate. Same goes for the image. But how this works, what are those scripts, what's in it? Well, the main script is localize. So this is what you get from GitHub, and there is a brief explanation here in the class summary. Okay, so as you can see in resources, I expect a folder called localization, and just using the standard Unity enumeration for the languages, I expect a file, a text file. This is why a text file, and why I totally do not agree, I cringe when I see those assets like the Unity tutorial that proposes even an editor, an in Unity editor for localization. Really? Do you really think that I take a localization component and I want to take that and give that to a translator, and that translator is assumed to have Unity 3D installed and must have the component installed? Really? No. No, I have no idea why they think so, but that's not how it works. When I want my game localized, what do I do? But not just myself, what everybody does in the industry. Well, Unity themselves, they do exactly the same thing. They have agencies that provide localization, and those agencies work based on text files. Okay, and for the artwork, again, they want to have an original English-based artwork, and those artists will localize the artwork accordingly, and they will give back the same file in different folders, same name, same file name, different folders. So the Japanese folder, Chinese folder, Russian folders, and so on and so forth, if I want to bring this to the extreme and having a very, very cultural focused application. If I just want to translate strings, again, I have a file. And let's have a look to the files. Now, resources, localization, I have English, Italian, and Japanese. English is my default. Then open Italian, and let's open Japanese. Here we go. These are the files. English title equals migrate game, play equals play, opt. So it's a no-brainer, right? Let's say that I want to put migrate game on 2 lines. Migrate game, I just have to do this. New line with a standard notation, new line, my subtitle. I'm not going to put it also in the other languages just for the sake of time, but now when I run when I run the game in English, I have 2 lines, right? Obviously it is still 1 line in the other languages, but in English it's on 2 lines, just to demonstrate that we can have new line characters in the text as well. Okay, so straightforward. So this is the file that normally I send by email to my translators to translate a game into another language. So I send a text file to the guy that speaks Chinese, and I get back a text like this. This is Japanese. Okay, I get this back, right, with the same keys, obviously, and the value translated into a different language. So this is simple, manageable. We do not assume that the translator has Unity or uses whatever else to do the translation. We just give him or her a text file, and that's pretty much it. Okay, where did I get translation here? By the way, I want to point you guys to Polyglot Game Dev. I'll put the links into the description of the video here as well. So, just for you to know, guys, this is the Facebook page, and if you click on, well, here is play, Joka play. If you click here, you go to a very nice Google Doc file for developers, for game developers, that gives you a huge amount of translation in many languages from English. So in case you didn't know of this resource, well, now you know. So this is free. We have to thank a lot Polyglot Game Dev people to make this available and to maintain this. Okay, so very nice resources. If you didn't know, now you know. Go get it. Very easy to translate something into a different language. Obviously, you still have to localize the artwork in case you want to do something very well focused on a specific region. Okay, now let's have a very quick look to the script. Very easy scripts. We just have localize, which is the main script. We don't have a manager. We don't have very stupid thing. Is a mono behavior, but also have this also has a lot of static methods. Okay, starting with the actual dictionary that it's static. We don't really need the dictionary to be at component level, right? So almost everything is static in here. The only non-static part is here, the update local that allows to update the content of the string, and the set current language is a static that allow to update everything in the UI. And in the start, what we do is to actually set up the language if it has not been set up yet. So it automatically does that. So basically, if the language has not been set yet, we set it true, and we just call set current language. Okay, and we pass player language. Player language simply returns as a system language player plef get int, the localization key, and the integer, which is basically the application system language that here in the setter we have saved as an integer, right? That's pretty much all it does. If it's not there, it returns the system language. Otherwise, it returns whatever has been saved. Pretty easy, right? This is the method that actually loads the file that the key pair with the translations. Right, if it's not there, it tries to load English. So if I set language to, I don't know, Afrikaans, and I do not have a file for Afrikaans, it tries to load English. If it does not find English, well, it logs an error here, but really, guys, English should always be there, right? It's the most common language, well, at least in game development. Now, again, I don't make in here a lot of checks and all. This is the script that I use myself, so I make some assumptions like English is there. Okay. And that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to waste your time. I leave you to have a look to the script. The images, that's pretty much the same thing. As you can see here in the summary of the class, we expect a folder structure like resources, localization, UI, and then the language. The language exactly as is in system language. Okay, just for the sake of remember this to everybody, the system language in Unity is this one. Okay, so we have all these nice languages that can be addressed. Way more than we want to really address, but anyway, this is what we can actually get from Unity. Okay, so that is exactly the string that we expect. As you can see here in the resources, we have here UI, we have English UI, the Italian UI that we have seen, and the Japanese UI. Okay, now if the artwork has not been found, it will not load it. So this just because usually I set it up for English, and if I don't want to manage some of the UI, it will just skip it if it's not there. So this is the approach, very simple. Just those scripts, the same script manages everything, loads the languages, and allows to set the languages. Those buttons there, as you can see, calls no, not the button play, the flags set English, set Italian, and set Japanese in the menu manager. The menu manager has a tiny script, a very stupid one, that basically, as you can see, is just 2 lines. One to set the current language to the selected language, so English flag, do select English, and then localize image. This is very important, right? First localize. This one calls upon the library to load the actual dictionary and sets the global value for the current selected language, and then we can set the localized image. Okay, so this is the only caveat in the strings. First localize, then localize image. Okay, that's pretty much it. There isn't really anything else. One thing just about credits, I guess it's fair. Those nice flags that you see here that I've used come from opengameart.org, which is here. So on OpenGameArt you have this nice asset with all those nice flags. In it there are also vector version of this. I just used the PNGs, but you get both of them. So opengameart.org, language selection flags. Very nice artwork. Okay. And this is pretty much it, guys. I hope that this is way less cringy than the one that has been shown by Unity Technology. This is actually following the KISS approach. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, I think that everybody knows the no-nonsense KISS approach. I hope you like this. The GitHub is up and running. The link is down in the description of this video, and that's pretty much it. Thank you all for following.